Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of In the Paint, brought to you by Dr. Karen Kramer, your hometown dentist in Grafton and Elyria. Great to have you with us. Tim Alcorn, along with Matt Douglas from AM 930 WEOL. Regular season winding down, tournament time right around the corner. We've turned the page into the month of February, and Matt, that's what makes it the most exciting time of the year as far as high school basketball is concerned.
Without a doubt it is. I mean, we already know the girls' sectional and regional and district pairings coming up here in the weeks ahead. And then this weekend, we're going to find out what's going on with the boys' teams and where they'll all fill into those district tournaments. So an exciting time to be a high school basketball fan for sure.
Well, last week, you and I sat here and we kind of took some guesses as far as the girls with the sectional and district tournament draws and where those teams would end up as far as seeding and the like. So let's see how accurate we are. We start in Division I on the girls' side, and for the most part, we hit this pretty much on the head. Olmsted Falls was indeed voted the #1 seed. Westlake Lady Demons #2. Shore Gals from Avon Lake came in as the #3 seed. Ironically, Monday night, Avon Lake beat Westlake for Avon Lake girls head coach Dave Zavara, his 100th win as the girls coach over at Avon Lake, so congratulations to him. But boy, you've got Avon and Amherst, Amherst at 4, Avon at 5. So this really looks to be a very competitive D1 sectional district, basically the SWC tournament per se.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A lot of these teams are from the SWC. I think that's what makes this one a lot of fun. You throw in Elyria, you throw in Strongsville, get a little bit of a mixture too with some of the teams from outside. Lorain, a Lake Erie League team, also plays this bracket. But I think that's what's fun about this one, Tim. I always loved this District 1 tournament bracket because the parity's so thick. The SWC race still pretty tight. Olmsted Falls leading every one, but as you mentioned, Westlake right behind them. Avon Lake right behind them.
Yeah.
So everybody's good to go, and as you pointed out, tough time to be seeded if you're Westlake because it allowed Avon Lake to have a bit of a chip on their shoulder on Monday night and pull off that three-point victory over the Demons. So,
that was a district semifinal preview,
well,
perhaps.
That's what I was just going to say. A little bit of a preview of what we're going to see when this thing tips off on the 16th.
All right, let's move on to Division II. And, of course, the Division II tournament will take place over at Elyria High. And insofar as the seedings are concerned, again, if people want to look back to last week's In the Paint, we pretty much had this one with Bay being the #1 seed.
Yeah, I think this one gets very interesting. I think Bay, the heavy favorite, obviously here. But I think there's a lot of dark horses in this bracket. You've got Firelands, who's playing their best basketball perhaps at this time. You've got a Clearview team who's been without their star player, Brooke Redmond, for a majority of the season. She's back, had a bit of a head injury on Monday night against Elyria. They were able to pull out the victory in that game, but my understanding, Coach Demakia told Andy Bull-Barch at WEOL she should be back and ready for the rest of the season going ahead in the postseason. So if she's healthy, they can be a team that can upset some teams as well. So I think this one can be a lot of fun as well.
Firelands will open up tournament play on February 16th against Rocky River. And as you said, Dave Cadella's team playing some very good basketball right now. If Firelands were to get by Rocky River, sure enough, they get Bay, the top seed in that next round.
Yeah, that's fun the way that works out, isn't it? But look, if you're going to win, you got to eventually knock off the top team in the seeding. So Firelands would get their opportunity in that second game.
Insofar as Division III is concerned, really no surprise. Elyria Catholic, and we mentioned last week, would probably be the #1 seed. They did earn that #1 seed. They're having a tremendous campaign, 15-4, as you and I sit here and tape this program. So they were voted the #1 seed, deservedly so, and I would think they would be the heavy favorite going into the tournament, although Independence is a pretty good girls basketball team, the #2 seed.
Without a doubt, I think a couple of years ago I had the opportunity to call one of the Blue Devils games against the Wellington Dukes, and they're a very sound team, and I'd imagine from year to year they just keep that structure that they've got and keep on rolling. Independence is playing well. Trinity's another team I think you got to take a look at. They've played some good basketball here down the stretch, but I think you're right. When it comes to Elyria Catholic, they've got just 4 losses in the regular season. They're buzzing through their conference right now, undefeated at 9-0 heading into the weekend. So they're playing some great basketball and have to be the favorite.
And they certainly hope to have Abby winning back.
That's right.
As far as tournament time is concerned, of course, Abby and her twin sister Allie winning really comprise a nice 1-2 low post presence for Eric Rothgary's team at Elyria Catholic. Right now, Allie Winnan is putting together a terrific campaign, and of course, they've got a couple of great seniors in Faith Williams and Reagan Schill, but boy, if they could get Abby back, basically there's 4 of your 5 starters from last year's Final 14.
Yeah, I had the opportunity a week ago to call their game against St. Vincent St. Mary, and man, they've got some players who step up and key parts, and Faith Williams, you point out, I think she's one of the best ball handlers in girls basketball right now. She runs the point for Elyria Catholic, and she doesn't give teams many opportunities to steal.
All right, before we talk about the boys' seedings coming up this weekend, their tournament brackets will be announced on Sunday. Let's talk about our Janasco Insurance Players of the Week. And again, the Players of the Week brought to you by Janasco Insurance. They're on Broadway in Lorain. Since we've been talking about girls basketball, you want to start on the girls' side with your Player of the Week?
Why don't we? Tim, I love great storylines, and that's exactly what we got and why I decided to go the route I did on my Janasco Insurance Player of the Week. You already alluded to it a little. Seedings came out on Sunday. Westlake 2, Avon Lake number 3 in that Division I Elyria Catholic District. And a little bit of a chip on the shoulder of the Avon Lake Shore Gals as they went into that game on Monday night. Tremendous job defensively by the Shore Gals. At one point, there was an 11-minute run where Westlake couldn't even get a basket in the hoop. The Shore Gals end up winning that game by 3, I believe, final score being 50-47. And a big part of that was Ariana Negron. She knocked down 16 points to lead the way for the Shore Gals. And a defensive performance like that, and with Ariana Negron leading the scoring for the Shore Gals, that's why she had to be my Janasco Insurance Player of the Week. Having that chip on their shoulder, going out, answering, and as you, Tim, that could be a preview of what's ahead in that district tournament.
Boy, if they meet for a third time over
man.
at Elyria Catholic in the district semi, it's going to be a phenomenal ball game. So
Coliseum will be rocking for that.
boy, no doubt. So congratulations, Ariana Negron of Avon Lake High School. So she gets Player of the Week. And again, Dave Zavara Monday night gets his 100th career win over at Avon Lake as the girls' head coach of the Shore Gals. So a big night.
Have to do a Coach of the Week, maybe one of these, one of these years here on In the Paint.
There you go. Well, on the boys' side, as far as the Janasco Insurance Player of the Week, we're going to go with the Lorain High Titan. And no, it's not Day-Day. It's not Devon Grant. How about Tavon Pierre-Lewis? He had back-to-back career highs as far as points were concerned. Saturday night, Lorain High taking on Garfield Heights over at the Titan Gym. West Virginia head coach Bob Huggins in attendance. Wanted to check out some of the talent. Tavon put on a show, 32 points. He comes back Tuesday night and matches his career high with another 32-point performance in Lorain's win over Maple Heights. Titans are rolling 16-1 on the year. John Rossitano's team just playing incredible basketball. And yes, Devon gets a lot of ink and a lot of publicity, deservedly so. But Tavon Pierre-Lewis is a special basketball player. 32 on Saturday night, 32 on Tuesday night, career highs. How do I not go with Tavon Pierre-Lewis?
That's the perfect call for it. I mean, he without a doubt is the Janasco Insurance Player of the Week for his performances there. But that's the beauty of that Lorain team. They run so deep, Tim, and it's not just Pierre-Lewis, it's not just Grant. I mean, they got guys coming off the bench who put up big numbers for them, and it does kind of get hidden because of the success of the team and Devon Grant this season as well. But a great job by Tavon Pierre-Lewis.
All right, so let's move on as far as boys basketball is concerned. Again, their voting as far as the sectional districts will be taking place this week. So as we did last week, we'll kind of take a guess as far as who we think may end up where as far as the sectional and districts are concerned. In Division I, there really isn't any doubt. I'm sure it will be unanimous. Lorain will be the heavy favorite as the number 1 seed. I would think Olmsted Falls will get the number 2 seed. It looks like they're going to win the Southwestern Conference. After that, it could be wide open.
Yeah, you'd have to think Lakewood maybe slides in there at that number 3 with Oak Falls winning the SWC right now. We mentioned in both the boys and girls side, this is really an SWC conference type thing with a mixture of Strongsville, Elyria, Lorain throwing in there as well. So some great basketball. Watch out for Elyria. They're probably going to be ranked a little bit lower in here. They've struggled in Greater Cleveland Conference play, but that's a meat grinder of a conference. And they've done really, really well against Lorain County teams. So they're going to knock some squads off. And I wouldn't be surprised if they end up in that championship game, perhaps taking on Lorain, or at least making it to the semifinals, depending on what part of the bracket they end up there.
And you always want to watch out for the team that's getting hot at the right time of the year, peaking towards the end of the year. How about Avon Lake? They're playing some terrific basketball. They've racked up some big wins in the SWC. Could be a sleeper team over at EC.
Yeah, without a doubt. They've played some great basketball here down the stretch. Put a run of, I think, 3 or 4 together before coming up just a bit short the other day.
All right, Division II, that'll take place over at North Ridgeville High School. Boy, you've got some outstanding basketball teams there. You've got Bay, you've got Clearview, you've got the Buckeye Bucks. Clearview with a huge win on Tuesday night when they knocked off Buckeye. That might get them the #1 seed.
Yeah, it very well could. Bay Rockets, I know, are playing some very good basketball right now. In fact, they've got a big game coming up against Elyria Catholic in the Great Lakes Conference on Friday night. If they have that opportunity to knock off Elyria Catholic in that game, they still would have the possibility to grab a share of that title. Eric Painter, one of their leaders, started playing as a freshman. He's now a senior on the team, so they've got some great veteran leadership over there.
And I should amend my comment. I wanted to say if Clearview beats Fairview on Friday night, because it's a monumental game. That's actually on the 15th. So I'm going to hedge my bet. I was thinking a week ahead. So I'm going to go with Fairview as the 1 seed.
Yeah, Fairview just 1 loss on the season in pack play. That was to Buckeye, so it shows you how big that Clearview win was against Buckeye on Tuesday night.
So I'm going to go Fairview 1, Clearview 2.
All right. I like that. I think that's very interesting. I think Bay certainly deserves to be up there. I'm not going to challenge you. I'll roll with that. I think that sounds good.
All right. By the way, another Division II team, they play in the Northwest District, though, Vermilion. They've got a sectional district that is stacked. So hopefully Kurt Habermill will get a decent seed. But, man, that's a tournament on the Northwest side that they're just going to go up against rugged competition no matter who they play.
And to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I guess it falls along those lines. But with the season they've had, just 2 losses to this point, they've been playing tremendous.
And then in Division III, quickly, we've got Lorain County teams in 2 different sectional districts. You've got Elyria Catholic. They're in the Garfield Heights district. And then you've got Columbia and you've got Columbia and Oberlin or Wellington over at the Worcester sectional district. So they kind of split them up. EC's playing some good basketball.
Without a doubt. And they're another one of those teams that really set them up. They're kind of the opposite of Elyria. They play in a very tough conference. Not that EC doesn't in that Great Lakes Conference, but they really stack their non-conference schedule. So those losses have come against some very good teams this year. The Cornerstone Christians, the Lutheran East out there. They've really tested themselves all over the season. I think they're ready for postseason play and perhaps a conference title here at the end of the year.
And now we'll get to Division IV. And in Division IV, I've been saying all year long, I really like this open door basketball team. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how you go against these guys. I mean, they're starting 4 so good. They're able to rack up the points. I think a lot of people question their depth, Tim, but they've played Amherst this year. They've played Massillon this year, some big D1 schools. Look, I mean, those are going to test your depth, and they answered every one of those questions. Only 2 losses on the year. Their last one came back at the beginning of December against Avon. So I think they're running a 13-game winning streak. Right now, they're in Lake Effect Conference tournament action. Look like the heavy favorite to win that one and move on to postseason play as well.
All right. I like open door. I really like that team. What a job Coach Todd Wright has done. Okay, closing things out here on our In the Paint, brought to you by Dr. Karen Kramer. Busy weekend ahead on WEOL. We've got 2 boys basketball games on Friday night. Radio side, that red-hot Lorain High team taking on Cleveland Heights. Should be a great game. Stream 2 on Friday night. A second game on the stream. That'll feature Elyria Catholic and Bay. Should be an outstanding matchup. And then girls basketball on Saturday afternoon. Avon Lake at Amherst. So we've got a great weekend coming up.
Looking forward to it. All great games, especially with the postseason coming up here. I mean, all games are important. You want to head into that postseason hot.
All right, so that's going to do it for this week's edition of In the Paint. Got to thank our folks from the Chronicle Telegram, Kristen Bauer, Steve Manheim, making sure that everything goes very, very well. We'll see when the end product comes out. Matt Douglas, thanks to you. Biggest thanks goes to you, the viewers. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next week, thanks for watching, and so long, everybody.